Welcome to the finale of What If Ahsoka Turned to the Dark Side. Thank you for the support shown in parts 1 and 2 of this miniseries. Links to those will be in the description below. The sky overhead darkened as the Separatist ships entered the atmosphere of the planet, moving to the sector protected by Yoda and Mace Windu. With the two most experienced swordsmen in the Jedi Order occupied, Dooku and Sidious hid in the shadows, trying to surprise the Jedi. Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka had managed to track down the Kaleesh warrior General Grievous, who had already decapitated several Jedi Masters. Anakin was wary of Ahsoka facing such a formidable lightsaber duelist. He needn't have worried. As Obi-Wan absorbed Grievous's attack with his impeccable Surisu defense, Ahsoka knew now was the time to show her new powers. Dismissing Obi-Wan with a gentle force push, Ahsoka ignited her now crimson-red blades, shocking Anakin not only with its colour, but also its intensity. Ahsoka moved at a speed unmatched by any Force user as she pressed a struggling Grievous, as Obi-Wan and Anakin watched in a mix of admiration and horror. Anakin knew Ahsoka was a talented duelist. This was far beyond anything he had ever seen from her. It did not take long for Ahsoka to sever all of Grievous's limbs, as the cyborg looked for an escape. Ahsoka smirked as she deactivated her lightsabers. Raising her hand, she lifted the body of Grievous, before crushing it into mere dust, pocketing the lightsabers he had collected from the previous Jedi. Getting over the initial shock, Obi-Wan and Anakin began to interrogate Ahsoka on firstly, where she had obtained her red lightsabers, and secondly, where that sudden surge of power had arrived from. Ahsoka merely smiled, as she swiftly moved to the direction of Sidious and Dooku, who were now in Yoda and Mace Windu's sector. Everything was proceeding as Sidious had foreseen, as he had managed to distract Yoda and Windu with Dooku's droids, whilst he had disposed many of the Jedi. Now all he hoped was that Togruta he had faced in his office was not here. As Ahsoka approached Sidious, she let out a laugh. She could sense the fear in his eyes, and he would pay for it with his life. As Sidious turned his head, he saw the Togruta he did not wish to face. Dooku adopted his trademark Makashi stance, whereas Sidious focused all of his hatred. The clouds overhead darkened even further, as all ships were engulfed in a massive force storm summoned by Sidious, creating a hyperspace wormhole. Yoda and Mace Windu staggered to their feet, having initially been stunned by the velocity of the storm. Ahsoka was mildly impressed at Sidious's efforts, but with a flick of her wrist, reduced the 100-meter wide force storm to a mere 1 meter, and redirected it towards Sidious and Dooku, who were immediately consumed by the vortices of force energy and turned into nothing. Before Anakin could intervene, Ahsoka levitated onto a nearby building and declared herself to be Lady Ashla, Daughter of the Dark, as her dark cloak billowed in the wind. The Ahsoka that Anakin had taught was no more. This was a different creature. Somehow, Anakin had to free Ahsoka from the darkness, or lose her forever. With Ahsoka starting to sweep all life away from Coruscant, Anakin sprinted off to the Jedi Temple, with Obi-Wan in pursuit, as Yoda and Mace Windu were tended to by nearby clones. Fortunately, the temple was one of the few buildings left on Coruscant that was still standing, and the duo made their way towards Anakin and Ahsoka's quarters, hoping for any clues. Eventually searching Ahsoka's wardrobe, Anakin finds Ahsoka's Jedi attire. But oddly, it was heavy. Shaking it out, he finds a dagger. He did not need the Force to tell him what the dagger was for. Perhaps Mortis had not been a vision, rather a warning about the future. Sprinting back outside, the duo see piles of bodies from droids to clones who have been swept away by Ahsoka's power. Anakin climbs up the building Ahsoka is standing on, as Obi-Wan distracts Ahsoka with the help of some clones. Reaching the rooftop of the building, Anakin knows what he has to do to free Ahsoka. He had seen it in his vision. Enhancing his speed with the Force, Anakin plunges the dagger into the back of Ahsoka, stopping the Force wave of destruction and returning Ahsoka's eyes back from their yellow. The blood now started to flow from Ahsoka's back, so Anakin smoothly jumped off the building and ran to the nearby medical bay, where medical droids tended to her. As the distraught Anakin waited for an update on Ahsoka's condition, He knew whatever happened, Ahsoka was his Padawan once more. That is it for this miniseries of What If Ahsoka Turned to the Dark Side. I decided to leave the fate of Ahsoka to your imagination for a bit of a different ending. Please like this video and subscribe for more tips, and as always, leave a comment on what if you'd like to see next. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.